entity which has states which exhibit well-defined behavior and has a unique identity. We took a couple of examples of objects like pen, book, subscriber, okay, are objects, and we derive their attributes and their behavior. Okay, we derive the attributes and behavior for every object. Like we took an example of pen as an object. We seen that pen will have attributes like name, price, type, color. These are the attributes of a pen. And behavior like they use for writing, they use for drawing. Okay, that are the behavior of a pen. Similarly, if you take a book as an object, then you have name, author name, number of pages, price are the attributes, and reading and writing as a behavior of a book. Then similarly, if you take an example of subscriber, then you will have name, age, mobile device number are the things like subscriber, and you will have make call, receive call. Okay, you will have send SMS, receive SMS. Oh, Udit says there will be a bit disturbance. Is it same for everyone? Maybe as you know, it's raining here. Maybe that reason I'll check, guys. 1 minute. I'll just close. Yeah, guys, is it okay now? Yeah, thank you. Because it was raining outside, so I just make sure that completely close everything. Yeah, thank you, Vishwajit. Thank you, everyone. Yeah, thank you for telling because so that we can see is there any problem from my side. Okay, so then we actually started discussing about class. Okay, and the definition of class we got it as a representation of an object. So basically, class is like representation of an object. So some of the definitions what we generally read like collection of objects and all does not make much sense. So we should avoid such definitions because it generally creates confusion. I can say in a broader way the class is a collection of objects, but doesn't mean that class contains object. Okay, class never contain objects. Class contain attributes and behavior only, but it's like a die or a mold or a structure. Okay, we had a lot of definitions yesterday, like a blueprint, like a template of an object. So many definitions we seen about class, and we took a couple of examples to understand like what exactly mean by a class. And based on your question, like difference between procedural oriented versus object oriented, we discussed little history about this object oriented programming, how it was started and all. And we also seen that how we write the things in procedural oriented programming. Like if I took an example of stack, that if you want to create a stack data structure in C, C++ and all, you'll be writing a structure, okay, and you will be creating a stack and you will be writing some attributes here and behavior separately. So basically there is no relation between data and functions in C, in procedural oriented programming and in functional oriented programming. Functions will be defined independent and data will be defined independent. There are two different entities now in procedural oriented programming, and there is no relation between data and the function. There is no relation between data and the function. So that way you can see that there is nothing like we treat it as a single entity. But we learn in object oriented programming, the first principle of object oriented programming is encapsulation. We learned about encapsulation yesterday. Encapsulation is nothing but enclosing of your data member and member functions together, like your variables and methods. We combine together in a single entity called class. So basically, class is one we encapsulate the things. Class is the one we encapsulate the things. Okay, so that way we can see that we can enclose the class. Okay, we can enclose the we can enclose the states and behavior into a class. So whatever we discussed yesterday, let's put all that thing into practical. Whatever we discussed yesterday, let's put all that thing into practical now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with my Python shell. Okay, and I'll just open my script so that I can start writing my code now. Before that, anybody having any question regarding object oriented approach or object oriented programming, please can ask here so that I can explain you that that how uh, or any questions regarding object oriented programming. Any questions? Okay. Yeah, thank you, Udit. Yeah, thank you, Nitin. Thank you, Abul. Okay, so Aditi, Vishwajit having, okay, no question. Fine. So let's get into practical. Okay, let's see that what we learned yesterday is, for example, let's take this example now. Let's take one of the object to be represented we discussed yesterday. So like yesterday we discussed pen, book and subscriber. Let's implement the subscriber now. Okay, so this is the example we will be using in our future sessions as well, because for explaining your inheritance, polymorphism, and all. This will be the good example to use for. So we will use the subscriber object and will represent them. So what we'll do, guys, do I create the object directly or should I create the class and then create the object? What will be the procedure now? So to implement this program, like to represent the subscriber now, because subscriber is a object which has attributes. Okay, we have to create class and then followed by object. Okay, very good, very good, thank you. So that is what we learned yesterday, right? So always we will create a class first, and once our class is ready, how many objects I can create, guys? How many objects I can create once the class is ready? Any number of objects. Very good. Okay, so that's what we will do now. So we will create a class. We'll create a class first of all, so that we learn one definition yesterday, that class is a mechanism to create objects. Once you create a class, a template or a blueprint or a structure, once you create that, you can create any number of objects. You can create any number of objects. So I will create a class here. I'll create a class here, and using a keyword called class, and I will give the name of the class as subscriber. I will give the name of the class as subscriber. Okay, again, while naming the class name, you will follow same rules are of identifiers. Whatever the rules you have followed while defining the variable name, while defining the function, so you will be following the same rule. Okay, you will be following same rule, that it should not start with number, there should be no gap, you can use underscore, no symbol except underscore. So there are some rules you will be following as general rules for identifiers. You will be following the same rules for class name itself. But there are some naming convenience for classes, that all the classes name, all the class names will be starting with a capital letter. Even for the predefined and the user defined, generally the class names will be start with a capital letter, so that you can differentiate between class, function and the variable names and all. Okay, so general idea. So we will also follow the same approach, but it is not mandatory. It's not the rule of identifier. It's just uh, naming convenience people follows. Yeah, Rajesh, yeah, I just started Rajshekhar. Okay, I just started making a class now, so I didn't, first line I wrote, I hope this line is clear for you. Okay, I just given a quick review of whatever we discussed yesterday, and we just started representing one of our object called subscriber now. So to represent that object, I was creating a class. Okay, thank you. So class subscriber, and S is capital here now. S is capital here. Okay, so for that I can differentiate between functions, methods, and variables. I am just putting the class name as in capital. Then what we will do is followed by the colon, as the same rule we followed with functions and other control statements where we are using indentation. So again, we need to write all the code in the indentation. Okay, all the code in the indentation. And what actually you will be defining inside the class? What you will be going to define inside the class, guys? What you will be going to define inside the class? Very good. Variables and not objects, guys. Okay, not objects. So variables and let me just make everyone silent. Okay, so you're going to define attributes and attributes and methods. You're going to define attributes and methods. In short, you can call it as data and functionality. There are many names to be given, guys. They are called fields and methods. Okay, functions, no, guys. Classes does not contain functions actually. I can generally call it as functionality, but functions is a different term in Python, and methods are a different term in Python. So functions are the independent code, okay, and be called directly, but methods are the part of the object or part of the class, and they have to call with the object only. That's what we learn when we discuss about string functions and string methods. I told you like length is a function, str is a function, ord is a function, but we also learn some methods like count is a method, okay, find is a method, replace is a method. Okay, these are the methods from the string class. So methods are different and functions are different. And I think we've seen the difference between function and a method. Yeah, methods call with object. That's true, Satya. Okay, method calls with object. So that's why we will not use this term like functions now. Whenever I'm defining any function inside the method, inside the class, then we call it as a method from here. So I will be using methods. So whenever I call method, you can understand it's a part of the class. Whenever I use a function as a term, then we can understand that functions are the independent code. So one thing, we cannot define functions in classes. Okay, if its syntax is exactly similar, but we will call it as a method now. Now we will follow the indentation. Right now I will not be introducing you the data right now. We will be introducing your data in a moment, but let me introduce you the method. Let me introduce you the method. How we define the method? The syntax is exactly similar as of your function. The syntax is exactly similar as of your function. So we'll say def, okay, def keyword for defining a method, and the method name is make call. I wanted to define a method name is as make call. Now I will put parenthesis again. I can write my print statement because I'm not going to write any logic here now. I'm just wanted to print that subscriber is making call. Subscriber is making call. Meaning I just wanted to print this statement whenever you just call this method. I just wanted to print a statement called subscriber is making call to check whether this method is working properly or not. Okay. Similarly, I can define one more method now. Similarly, I can define one more method called RECIEVE. I hope it spells correct. Receive call. Okay. And here I will be calling something like subscriber is receiving call. Subscriber is receiving call. Okay, so I just created a class with two methods in it. I have not defined data yet. Okay, I will be introducing a data in some time, but a lot of things you need to understand how to run this code and what things to be added further, you need to understand. But still, I just created a basic class now called subscriber, which is having two methods in it. The first method is make call and the second method is receive call. Inside the make call method, I just printed subscriber is making call, and inside the receive call method, I just printed subscriber is receiving call. Let me check, is this class okay for everyone? I hope it's quite easy syntax, right? We are using a keyword called class here, and the name of the class, and followed by the colon as usual. Okay, and with the indented code, I have defined two methods inside the class. One is called make call, other one is called receive call. Yeah, thank you everyone for confirming, and please stop me and ask me if you get any doubt regarding syntax or anything you wanted to add on. Please always you can just make me stop and ask the question. Okay, what next, guys? We ready with class now? What next? What will be the output if I run this code? What will be the output if I run this code? Okay, Shikawat, I will explain once again. Yeah, very good. No output, nothing will be printed. Why, guys? Why nothing will be printed? Yeah. Okay. First of all, we know that these are like functions. Okay, these are like functions. So we all know that functions has to be called or invoked to run. So we need to invoke them. And obviously, I cannot call them call these methods actually. Call these methods directly. I have to create an object, obviously. Classes can never be used until unless you create an object. That's what I explained you yesterday. That whatever the example like cookie cutter cannot be used like unless we create a cookies, it will be no use of it. And similarly, the die or the mold of a bucket will not be useful unless you create an object of it. So basically, class will be unused unless you create an object, because class is just like a template or a blueprint. It cannot be used for the real time. Okay, an object has to be created so that you can make use of this class. Okay, like if any person, if any object, yeah, no object and not invoke the method, so obviously there will be no output. There will be no output. Let me just give a quick review here that we created a class called subscriber. Okay, and then we define two methods inside it. One is called make call, the other one is called receive call. The other one is called receive call. So these are the two methods we created inside the subscriber class. Now what we'll do here, we'll create an object. How to create an object? Creating an object is very simple. Creating an object is very simple. When I say s1 is an object name, is equal to the name of the class. So simple, guys. The name of the class followed by parenthesis, followed by parenthesis here now. Okay, so when I say s1 is equal to subscriber, what happens now? Okay, what happens now? An object gets created. Let me explain you diagrammatically. Let me explain you diagrammatically here. So if I can go here, okay, click on this. Now when I say s1, okay, when I say s1 is equal to subscriber, s1 is equal to subscriber, let us see what happens now. Okay, what happens now? Assigning a variable kind of thing with it. Yes, you're actually assigning a variable, because this one, okay, this one is responsible for constructing an object. This is responsible for constructing an object. That's why it sometimes it is also called as constructor. Okay, sometimes it is also called as constructor. Okay, so as the name of the class I'm using it followed by parenthesis, so it's a kind of constructor which is we would have just called by subscriber. Yeah, so when we call this constructor now, what happens now? It will construct an object and returns you the address. Let me explain you what happens internally now. So we again know that we have this heap memory. I'm making it a little big because I can explain you different objects created inside it. Okay, and we have this thing now. Okay, we have this thing. So you can see here we have a heap object and a stack object got created. We have heap and the stack got created. So this is my heap stack memory. Okay, and this is my heap memory. This is my heap memory. So whenever I write s1 is equal to subscriber, what is going to happen here is it is going to create me an object now. It is going to create me an object here called subscriber. Okay, subscriber object gets created. It says that, okay, it says that I am a subscriber object. I am a subscriber object. Similarly, the way you created integer object, the way you created list object, right? How you created list object, if you remember, I did same way. Like for example, I said L is equal to list. Don't you think both the syntax are similar? Here I am calling subscriber function or constructor to create an object, and here I am calling list function so that the list function will create me an object and return me the address of the object which is pointed by L. Something similar, okay? That's what I am doing. So here when I say S1 is equal to subscriber, the subscriber is a responsible. The constructor is responsible for constructing the object, guys. Okay, constructor is responsible for constructing the object. It constructs the object. Constructs the object actually. So constructing an object means allocating the memory for an object, and that will be referred as a reference. So S will contain the S1 will be a reference in the stack, and it will be pointing to the object. Now it will have its own address, let it be 2001. This is what happened when you say S1 is equal to subscriber. Okay, subscriber is a S1 is a subscriber object now. Okay, and a reference gets created called S1. Okay, a reference gets created called S1, and it creates me the object here. Now it creates me an object here. Now let us see here, okay, how it will work now. So when I run this code now, okay, I will be getting no output, obviously, because I'm not calling anything. I just created the subscriber object. Now when I ask him, please tell me the type of S1, it will tell me that I belongs to a class called subscriber, but subscriber is available in the default package, that is underscore underscore main underscore underscore. It is available in the default module called main underscore. That's why it's printing underscore underscore main underscore underscore dot subscriber. Other way, when you create an integer object and float object, it simply tell you I belongs to class called integer or float or something, right? But here it's telling you that I belongs to a class called subscriber, but it is present in a main module. So that's why, which is a user defined module by default. So that's why it's printing underscore underscore main underscore underscore dot subscriber. Any questions regarding creating a class and creating object? Okay, no questions from Nitin. No questions. When we create class, class creates in heap memory. No, class will not be created in heap memory. Okay, there will be a special area called method area, guys. There will be a special area called method area where all the methods will be defined actually. There will be a special area called method area. You can imagine this is a separate area actually. You can imagine it as a separate area here. Okay, I'll just color it. So there will be a separate area now called method area where all the methods has been defined. Okay, good question actually. That will help for our next topic. So here all the methods has been defined. Okay, like a method like make call. Okay, method like receive call. All the methods has been defined separately. Okay, because even though you create any number of objects, the methods will be common. The methods will be common. Okay, now I'll create one more object now. I'll create one more object. Okay, let it be. Like for example, I'll create an object here called S2 is equal to subscriber. S2 is equal to subscriber. Can you explain me what will happen now when I say S2 is equal to subscriber? What will happen now when I say S2 is equal to subscriber? It creates you one more object. Agree? It creates you one more object now. So one more object gets created. Okay, something like here I will draw it. One more object gets created now. Okay, where S2 will be referring, a reference gets created called S2, and S2 will be referring to this object which is 3001. Okay, S2 will be in a stack and reference to the subscriber and in the heap. So heap creates me an object which is a subscriber object, and S2 as reference will be created in the stack now. Okay, yeah, refers to the same class, yes, of course, but another object gets created, refers to the say a different object now with address and all. with address and all. Okay, like I can show you with printing their addresses as well. Like I will create s2 is equal to subscriber now. S2 is equal to subscriber. Okay, now I can print their addresses and also I can check it. Let's run the code. It runs now. I will print the ID of S1. It will show you some address of S1 is pointing. And when I say ID of S2, ID of S2, it will print me the some other address. So that will prove that it is getting created in two different locations. Okay, the subscriber S1 is getting created in a heap with some address, and S2 is getting created in some address. This is a basic thing what we learn. So why another object is being created? Because Abhishek, two different objects will contain two different information now. It's mutable in nature. All classes are by default mutable in nature. I hope you remember when I talked about uh, mutability and immutability. I told you by default all predefined classes are mutable in nature because they're going to contain different information. Same like list concept, right? List is mutable in nature. So user defined objects will also be mutable in nature because every subscriber is going to contain their own information. Abhishek, you got my point? Okay, thank you, Abhishek. So remember, they every time when you create, it will not going to point at the same object because every subscriber is going to have their unique detail or unique information. Once you create a class, they're going to have a unique information. Unique information. Okay, now the next thing is, can I make use of these methods now? Like, can I check whether my till now I just understood that how to create a class and how to create an object. Okay, we check the type of the object, we check the addresses of the object. So we concluded few things like class is mutable in nature, so two different objects is getting created. Okay, and we also concluded that type of it is subscriber class, they belongs to subscriber class and all few things we have written. Okay, now I wanted to check whether my class is working or not. How to check or how to demonstrate my class? By calling those methods. If methods get executed perfectly, okay, then I can say that my class is working. Still, I don't have any data. I have to define the data. Yeah, thank you, Satyam. That's the perfect syntax. I have to call the method by using the object now. So when I say s1 dot make call, s1 dot make call, then what output you will be expecting now? What output you will be expecting now? What will be the output of the code now? S1 dot make call. S1 dot make call. Suppose S1 is making call, so I'll put after the first object. So that you can see that S1 is making call, and S2 I say receive call. Okay, S2 receive call. So it will print subscriber is making call and subscriber is receiving call. Subscriber is making call, subscriber is receiving call. That is what the expected output. But actually we will get an error here, guys. We'll get an error. Okay, let us try to understand that error actually. What error we will be getting. Okay, so is this code clear? First of all, I created a class called subscriber with two methods. I created a S1 object, I created S2 object, and I'm just calling make call and receive call. You can call any method, it's your wish. You can call any method. I'm just calling make call with S1 and receive call with S2. That's perfectly fine. Can you guess why we will get an error now? Can you guess why we will get an error now? No, no, it's not because of access specifier. No, Bull. Any guess like what will be the error? Indentation. I think we have given proper indentation because these are the inside the classes, and objects we will create obviously outside the class. So we will not create objects inside the class. It's a separate code. Maybe in the same module, maybe in the different module. I can create these objects directly in script as well. I can create directly in the script as well. But I'm just creating in the same, sorry, in the other script or in shell as well. But I'm just creating here, okay, because in the same script so that I can tell you. There is no returning actually, Shikawat, okay, as these methods are not returning anything, it's just printing it. It's just printing it. Okay, let us see what error we will get. The error we will get is very shocking error actually. The error, it says that, okay, make call is taking 0 positional argument, but 1 was given. You see, if you give this error, if you see this error, you will get shocked. Okay, it will be something like yes, that's what Aditi. That's what I'm saying. We did not given any argument. This is 0 argument and this is 0 argument. But it's complaining here. Okay, it's complaining here. Yeah, Roshan, I'll do it. Okay, it's complaining here that you're passing one argument, but the make call is taking no argument actually. That's what he's complaining. That takes 0 positional argument, but 1 was given. Did I pass any argument actually? Both are same, right? It's empty and it's empty again. We will get this error when we write a function like this. When we get such kind of error, when you define a function like this, suppose you have a function like def function with no argument, but you call the function with one argument, then we'll get this error that it takes 0 argument, but you given 1. Then he will complain, right? He will complain that it will take 0 argument, but 1 was given. 1 was given. Okay, 1 was given. Okay, so Kudal thinks that address of the object must be specified as an argument. Okay, Kudal thinks that you have to pass the address of the object. Why, Kudal? Why do you think we have to pass the address of the object here? No, but what do you mean actually? Why this error was coming? That's what our concern. Very correctly pointed out by Aditi that we did not given any argument, then why he's complaining? Okay, it's something like okay, ghost. You saw like a kind of ghost which is not visible actually. Okay, which is not visible, like it's saying that you have given one argument, but there is no argument you passed, neither you accepted. It looks perfectly okay. It looks perfectly okay, but there was a complaint by my Python interpreter saying that you have given one argument, but you have not taken any argument here. Okay, so that was 100% correct. Okay, can we try to call in shell? Again, we'll get the same error if you try to call in shell. So Kudal thinks that while calling method, address of the object has to be passed. Okay, that's true, guys. What Kudal is telling, it's 100% correct. Let us talk about like why it is required. Why we have to pass the address of the uh, object. Because you see, I told you that make call and receive call is present in a separate area called method area. If you wanted to access the data provided inside this one, they need the address of the object. Agree or not? Make call needs the address of the object to access this object data, and receive call also needs the address of the object to access this data. So basically, they need the address. Make call and receive call need the address of the object so that they can access the object, because they present in separate method area. They present in the separate area now, so they need an address of the object to access them. But we are passing the object S1 and S2. We are not passing the object right now, but what happens actually here, that's what the error is all about. Because whenever I call s1 dot make call, guys, internally what happen is address of the internally I can write in comment, internally this will get changed to something like this, make call, and it will pass the address of that s1, something like this, not exactly, but something like this. Now it will call the method, okay, and it will pass the address of that object. Now that's what Kudal and Ubul was telling, that implicitly it will pass the address actually. You know why we require address? You got it, everyone? So whenever you make any method, so always remember implicitly it will pass the address. So that's why he is complaining here. That's why he's complaining here that it takes 0 positional argument, but 1 was given. That was his complaining here, that you have actually it was taking 0, but you have given one argument, 0 positional argument, but 1 was given. So that's what question from Aditi, like I have not given anything, but why is complaining 1 was given? That 1 was passed implicitly, guys. That 1 was passed implicitly here. Agree, everyone? Same like with receive call. and same link with others. This is very important concept. So let me check with everyone here. Let me check with everyone here because this is one of the very important concept to understand. Okay, thank you Vishwajit, thank you Nitin, thank you Aditi, thank you Ubul, Prashanti, Satyam, thank you. Shikawat, can I check with Shikawat? Thank you Vamshi, Abhishek, Daljit Singh, thank you. Roshan, this is example of class in general or we are learning about encapsulation? Actually, we are learning about encapsulation, Udit. We are learning about encapsulation, and during encapsulation, whatever things you required, we are learning. Yeah, Roshan, I will repeat for you. So we created a class called subscriber Roshan, and we define a method called make call and receive call. And inside the method, I wrote the content like subscriber is making call, and inside that receive call, we will talk about SK how to resolve this. Subscriber is receiving call, okay, and we create an object like S1 is equal to subscriber. So object gets created. I shown in my diagram what happens when you create an object, and reference gets created called S1, and object gets created in the heap memory. An object gets created in the heap memory. Similarly, when I say S2 is equal to subscriber, an object gets created in the heap memory and a reference gets created in the stack memory. So S2 will be pointing an object called 3001 and S1 will be pointing to an object called 2001. Imagine. And there is a methods like make call and receive call which will be common, because even though I will have 100 objects here, there will be only one make call and one receive call. Agree? Even though I have 100 objects here, there will be only one make call and one receive call because the content is common to all of them. Content is common to all of them. So that's why they will be having only one method called make call and one method called receive call. That's why there will be a common method now, common method area where all the methods will be present, but they need the addresses to access the data. So that's why Python has decided that I will pass the address of the object implicitly. I will pass the address of the object, meaning you are not given any argument, but implicitly one argument is getting passed. I hope agree with everyone. I hope agrees everyone now. So already you said no questions, you already understood, but let me check once again that you all followed that there is one argument passing. So how to solve this, guys? How to solve? How to solve this issue? How to solve this issue? To solve this issue, okay? Yeah. Shikawat is coming up with his answer saying add address. Where to add address, Shikawat? How to solve this issue now? Because I cannot run my program, I cannot check make call and receive call. It's complaining me all the time when I run. How to fix this issue? Yes, very good. So use one parameter in the accept the argument. Very good, Nitin. So we have to accept that argument here now. Got my point? So I have to add one argument on each so that X will contain the address now. X will contain the address here now. Getting my point, everyone? Now it will not complain and things will run perfectly fine. This time it will not complain and things will work. Subscriber is making call and subscriber is receiving calls. I got the solution. Only thing is I added one argument now. So what is X contain here? What is X contain? Address of the object. Very good, Udit. It is containing the address of the object. When I call with S1, it will contain the S1 address. When I call with S2, it will contain the S2 address. So here they are actually the addresses. So always remember, even though you are not passing, there will be one argument always in the make call and receive call you have to define. Okay, I can name anything, but generally people will follow one name called self. People will generally follow a name called self because it's containing the self address. That's why it was named as self. So we will also follow the same rule. We will name that variable name as self so that we can differentiate with other variables. So first parameter, I will always write it like a self now. Okay, that's what Ubul was talking at the beginning, that self, yeah, a kind of thing, Udit. Okay, self is actually a variable which is going to contain the address of the object. Okay, address of the object. Any questions? Sorry, I have to check every time here because I wanted to make sure like you're following. Okay, so then people will ask you what is self. You can give x, you can give y. X and y can be a regular variable sk. So we will get confused with regular variable and address variable. So that's why I'm giving a different name where people are generally preferred for. So anybody are familiar with Java? Anybody familiar with Java? Okay. Okay. For the people who knows Java, the self is same like this in Java. In Java also we have the same concept like this. Okay, I hope you all remember this in Java, where actually it contains the address of the current object, right? But the only difference is this will be created implicitly, but in Python it has to create explicitly. Okay, self and this will be same. This, the only difference is this will be created implicitly, but self will be created explicitly. So same like this. Okay, this also contains the address of the current object. Yeah, pointing current object variable Vamshi, that's true. Something self is also pointing to the current object. Now when I call s1 dot make call, self will contain the address of s1. When I say s2 dot receive call, self will contain the address of the subscriber 2, which is s2, which is s2. So we see in our class is working. Subscriber is making call, subscriber is receiving call. But I'm not clear which subscriber is making call and which subscriber is receiving call. Can I add some data to it so that I can add a name and some more data to that? Can I add some data? Yes, I can add some data. How to add the data? I can say s1 dot name is equal to s1 dot name. If you don't mind, I will use your name Ubul, as I can see the last text Ubul as a name. Okay, subscriber one. Suppose I name it as Ubul. Okay, and similarly, I will add here s2 dot name. S2 dot name is equal to Vamshi. Okay, Vamshi. So S2 dot name is equal to Vamshi here. So these are the two names I have added now. These are the two names I have added. Let us see what happens in our diagram. What happens in our diagram now. Now you can see here there are two things get added. Okay, there are two things get added. The first thing is, okay, the first thing here is, okay, the name gets added here. The attribute gets created called name and the value called XYZ. The attribute gets created called name and the value as, sorry, Ubul. Okay, and another in S2 also an attribute gets created with a value called Vamshi, with a value called Vamshi now. Okay, and I wanted to print that name. I wanted to print that name here. Can you tell me how to print the name? How to print the name here now? I want to use that attribute. How to use that attribute? I have to use the object called self and I have to use name. Agree? Agree everyone that I have to use self dot name. Thank you Vishwaji. Thank you Aditi, Nitin. Yes. Okay. So we have to use this self because that's what we learned, that self is a current object, because now method got a self as a reference. So whenever he wanted to access this data, he will always make use of self. That is what the self was created actually. This is what the reason self got created, because self is containing the address of the current object. So self dot name will print me the name of that means the name of that object which is pointing to. Similarly, I will remove this subscriber now. I will remove this subscriber and also I will print self dot name here. So it will print me the name of the object. Now in this case, I will get some appropriate answer that Ubul is making call and Vamshi is receiving call. Ubul is making call and Vamshi is receiving call because you have filled the attribute as well. Now you see this class and see the diagram. So actually I completed my object, means the first example where I created a class with one data, okay, one attribute called name, okay, and two methods like make call and receive call. Two methods like make call and receive call. Name variable is not defined in your class. Can we directly define any variable? Santosh, sorry, I didn't get your question. Will you please elaborate regarding our example? If you anybody having any question, please ask, guys. Now your questions will help us to make things clear. If anything is missing from my side or anything you didn't understood, now we can fill up because we learn object oriented programming, guys. You already an object oriented programmer because you know how to create class, how to create object, how to create method, how to create attributes. That's what called encapsulation. Encapsulation means I'm encapsulating the data members and functionality as a single entity now. Okay, as a single entity. In the class definition, there is no variable. Yes, Santosh, there is in the class in the class there is no variable. Actually, there is no variable here. I did not define inside the class. I have defined using my object. I can do that way. Even I can define inside my class as well. Okay, I can define inside my class as well. But as it is, because you know that Python is dynamically typed. Yeah, it's something like binding a data member and a method. 100% Nitin. It's something binding like a data member and a methods. Okay, so let me put Nitin's thing here. So Nitin says that it's something like binding your data member and methods. That's what we did, and that's what the meaning of encapsulation, guys. And that's what the meaning of encapsulation here. That I created a class, I created an object, and inside that class, I created a attribute or data member like name and the methods. I binded them. I combined them actually. So Santosh, I hope you got it. I can also define inside the class. We will learn that. But as it is dynamically typed, so I created outside when I create the object here now. Yes, we can also define the variables inside the class, but the syntax is little different because it is dynamically typed. Because you know what, guys, if I create the variable inside the class, if I create the variable inside the class, suppose, if I say S1, sorry, if I say name is equal to, I should say self.name actually, self.name is equal to Ubul. Then you know what happens now if I do like this? You know what happens now? If I create the attribute inside the class, because I have to initialize the name, right? Because it's a dynamically typed. You know that there is no declaration concept in Python. There is no declaration concept in Python. So I cannot declare the variables. I have to create the variable. So what happens in this case now is both of them may have the same name. Okay, both of them may have a same name, and here I cannot use self directly also. So there is there is some other way to do it, but not at least this way. Okay, not at least this way, because you cannot use like this. Okay, you cannot use something like this. So I need to create outside. First of all, we'll learn how to create inside, no problem. Okay, how in place of is making call name appears. Okay, because what I did, Shikawat, when I created the object, we know that an object gets created. You can see the diagram. Okay, you can see the diagram that an object gets created now. First line. When I say s1.name is equal to Ubul, inside that object an attribute gets created called name with a value called Ubul. And when I say s1.makeCall, make call gets happen, and then no, you cannot do that. That's what I am saying, Ubul. You cannot do that. Okay, there is a different way to do it, but at least don't worry right now. Just this is one way of creating the attributes. Remember that there are other ways of creating the attribute. We will discuss what is the problem of this way, then we will find a solution. But just make it simple now. Just make it simple. Shall we go for one more example? Shall we go for one more example now? Okay, very good. So I'll comment it out so that I can show you one more example here now of creating a class. I think that will make you little more clarity about creating a class and creating object. Creating a class and creating an object. Okay, so listen very carefully now. So all the things I'm going to put together so that I will create one more class now. Okay, so I will create object, I will fill the data, I will make use out of. So I'm going to use one real-time example. Let's say I will creating a class called bank. I'll be creating a class called bank now. Can you tell me what are the methods Let's think about methods first, then the data. Okay, I will, otherwise I will write pass here for time being. I'll create the bank object. Let's say customer one is equal to bank. Customer one is equal to bank. So it will create an object. So can you tell me what are the attributes for the bank now? You can define diagrammatically here. Like I wanted to create a bank object now. I want to create a bank object. Can you define the attributes and methods now? Because that's what we do, right? Okay, the customer name, very good, very good. The customer name, okay. The customer account number, very good, Vamshi. And finally, I will have balance. I will have balance. Mobile number and all, let it be, they are optional. So these are the three major things. Okay, these are the three major things. I'll fix with these three. You can have any number of attributes, no problem. Let's fix to these three things: name, account number, and balance. Name, account number, and balance. Very good. Okay, so that's what we will do now. I will say c1 dot name. How to create that? I will say c1 dot name is equal to, okay, I will use same example as Ubul. Okay, Ubul. And next I will say c1 dot, okay, account number. Ubul, can you tell me your account number? Okay, so I will take it as 1234. So I hope okay, and I will say c1 dot balance. Oh, sorry, Ubul. Is that your account number? Okay, so Ubul is so smart. Yeah, give your password also. That's true. So this way we should take some secured information. Okay, so thank you, Ubul. So I will take the balance. Let's, don't mind please, but I'm just taking a very simple balance now. I'll take 1000 as a balance. So I will be giving a balance here. Okay, yeah, that's good. So I'm just making a dummy class, so that's perfectly okay. So we can have a dummy account number now. So I just created a class called customer here called C1 as name Ubul. Okay, and I just created an account. I just given an account number. I've given a balance here now. I've given a balance. So you can imagine an object gets created like this. You can imagine now an object gets created like this. Okay, an object will be created here with three things, and S1 will be pointing to it. Okay, sorry, C1 will be pointing to it. This object will have some address now, let's say 2001, and here we'll have three attributes now. Okay, what are the three variables we got? Name is equal to Ubul. Okay, account number is equal to 1234, and balance is equal to 1000 rupees. Balance is equal to 1000 rupees. We got this three data members now. So we created an object, we defined data members actually. Okay, now we will be writing methods now. What methods you will be expecting, guys? You will have a method like get balance to check the balance. Okay, obviously we will have a method like deposit and withdraw. Deposit and withdraw. Okay, so that way I can check the balance, I can deposit, I can withdraw the amount. I can withdraw the amount. Okay, now let me first print that get balance now. Let me write for get balance. Okay, what it will be doing is the get balance or check balance, whatever you call them, I will define the first method now. So get balance, get balance. And how many parameter it will take? How many parameters it will take now? Suppose after this, I will call C1 dot get balance. Get balance, it should print me the balance now. It should print me the balance. So very good. It will take one parameter now, which is self. Always by default you have to take self compulsory. By default you have to take self compulsory. So class bank define get balance self, and what I will do here, I will print the name self dot name, self dot name. Okay, your current balance, your current balance, current balance is, I can print self dot bal. Agree with this statement? I'm printing the name saying that, for example, Ubul, your current balance is 1000 rupees. Okay, so Ubul agrees. Thank you. So let me check with others now. Will this program work? I just created a class called balance with one method called get balance. I created an object and I fill the information here, and we say get balance, so it's printing you the get balance. Okay, thank you. Let's check whether it is working. So when I run the code now, you see that it says you that Ubul, your current balance is 1,000 rupees. It's perfectly printing. It's something like you went to ATM machine and you're checking that what is your current balance. You're checking what is your current balance. In place of name, it's printing the name of the customer, and in the place of balance, it's printing the balance of the customer. So it means that my object got created now, which has three attributes: name, account number, and balance. And I created one method which is accessing this C1 and getting two information out of it: name and balance. Name and balance. Similarly, can I create one more object now? Similarly, can I create one more object here? Yes, right? I can create one more object. Let's say C2 is equal to bank. C2 dot name is equal to Vamshi, as we took previously. Okay, Vamshi, and I will change the account number as 6789 something, and also I will try to change the balance as 1234 so that it prints me something different. Perfectly fine. And I have to change this to C2 dot account number, C2 dot balance, and C2 dot get balance. Now I can see that both the objects can check their balance. Ubul, your your current balance is 1,000, and Vamshi, your current balance is 1234. So you can create any number of objects like this and fill the information, and then you can make use of this method. Okay, can I add more functionalities to it, like depositing the amount and withdrawing the amount? Can I add more functionality to it? Okay, please help me out with a method like, yes, any number of objects I can create. Yes, how much got debited and how much got credited, I can always make use out of it. So I can say a method called deposit. First of all, deposit. Okay, for example, I wanted to deposit some more method, some more balance now. So Bull wanted to deposit, okay, some more balance. Okay, suppose he wanted to deposit some 500 more, 500 rupees he wanted to deposit now. Okay, so now the get balance should print me that he got 1500 as an amount. Total amount, current balance is 1500. So how to write my get balance now? Anybody? How to write this get balance? How many arguments it takes? Very good, very good. Two. Okay, so always you have to careful while taking the arguments now. Okay, always it should be self as a first argument, second argument as an amount what you are passing. If you are passing one argument, it compulsory you have to take two arguments. Everyone agree? Please confirm so that I can get confirmation you understood about self. Okay, thank you, Bull. Yeah, thank you, Shikawa. Thank you, Abhishek, Aditi. Anjali is here. Anjali is not. Uh, okay, Roshan. Yeah, Anjali, thank you. Udit, Nitin, Vamshi, Saif. Thank you, Saif. Yes, Satyam, Rajshekhar. Okay, thank you, everyone. So we understood that we have to take two parameters. And simply, what is the next line? What I will do inside the deposit now? What I will do inside the deposit? Formula? No. Vamshi, can you make it little correction? Your formula is correct, but we need few correction. Very good. No, 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 no. Come on, think. Your formula is correct. Balance is equal to balance plus amount. Meaning, I will add amount to the balance and store back in balance. Very good, very good. I have to use self always. Remember, self dot balance. Whenever you are accessing any of the attribute, it has to be accessed with self. So self dot balance is equal to self dot balance plus that amount whatever you have passed. And remember, you cannot use self with amount because amount is not an attribute. Amount is not an attribute. Amount is a local parameter. You should not use self with amount. You should not use self with amount. Amount is a local variable, so we will not be using it. Now you see the Ubul will get 1500 as a balance now. Ubul will get 1500 as a balance. Vamshi still got 1234 as a balance because he did not deposited anything. Getting everyone? Okay, please confirm again that we have added one more method now called deposit, which is responsible for depositing the amount. Okay, thank you Aditi, thank you Snehal, thank you Shikawat, thank you Nitin, Prashanti. I hope it's Prasanti. Sorry, I spelled wrong. When one or more parameters, sorry Satyam, I didn't get you. What is mean by one or more parameter? See, I'm expecting questions, but still, if you're following, that's perfectly fine because it's easy, right? Object-oriented programming is very easy. Don't you think that object-oriented programming is so easy? Only we need to just like understand how we do encapsulation and everything. Once we understand the concept, it will be very easy to implement. Yeah, in deposit, I'm taking two parameters, Satyam. Yeah, thank you, Nitin. So you're taking two parameters now. The self parameter and the amount, because you're passing 500, 500 will go in amount, and always first parameter will be all added as a address. Okay, thank you. Now we'll define one more method now. We'll define one more method called withdraw. Suppose Vamshi wanted to withdraw now. I'll say C1, sorry, C2 dot withdraw. Withdraw, and here Vamshi wanted to withdraw 1000 rupees. Can you tell me what should be the output now? When he wanted to withdraw 1000 rupees, what should be the output? So I just would like to see some questions now. When more than that means you take more parameters. So every time we deposit, we have to change. Yes, definitely. That's what you do, right, Aditi? Whenever you go to bank, you will do deposit, right? Sometime you will deposit 500. They'll ask you the amount. You go to bank and you say deposit. Okay, and they will ask you the amount. Okay, tell me the amount. You'll say amount. You can ask from user also. Whenever you call deposit, you can ask from user. Okay, tell me the amount, and that much amount you can deposit. No, how it will done automatically? It is not acceptable even in regular, right? Yes, obviously. If you go to bank and you have to deposit. Very good, Obul. Now we will write the withdraw method now. I hope it's clear, Aditi. And Satyam, withdraw, withdraw, and I will say self comma amount. I will accept that in amount. Amount is a local variable. I can use the same variable every time. I can use the same variable every time here now. So I say deposit, which takes two parameter. I say withdraw, which takes two parameter here now. And what is the logic now? What is the logic? Okay, self dot balance is equal to self dot balance minus amount. Let me check with others as well. Yeah, very good, Nitin. Very good. I should not withdraw. You know what? I should get an error actually. When Vamshi wanted to withdraw 1000 rupees, I should get an error because he has to maintain 500 as a balance minimum. He has to maintain 500 balance. I should give him an error like low balance. I should give him an error like low balance because while withdraw, there should be a condition added. Very good, Aditi. We should give a condition while withdrawing because deposit has no limit. He can deposit 1 rupee to 1 lakh rupee to 1 crore rupee, no problem. But while withdrawing, he should not withdraw more than the balance what he have, or he has to maintain some minimum balance, right? In the bank. That's what you do. Like you should maintain some minimum balance in the bank. So I will add one logic here. What is the logic? I will say that if whatever the self dot balance you have, self dot balance you have, I will subtract with the amount. I will subtract with the amount. If it is less than or equal to 500, if the less than or equal to 500, I will print that low balance. Low balance. Okay, low balance. I will print this thing now. Not amount less than 1000, guys. I need to say self dot balance. I need to subtract with that amount, Aditi. Getting this formula? If self dot balance is 1234, I will subtract 1000 from it. 1234 minus 1000 will give you 234, and 234 is less than or equal to 500. Yes, then I will print low balance. Then I will print low balance. Otherwise, please tell me, is this logic okay for everyone? Otherwise, I will say self dot balance minus is equal to amount. Minus is equal to amount. Perfect. So this is my logic for withdraw. Now I will run the code. You will see here Vamshi will get an error saying that low balance and Vamshi balance is still same. It did not got withdraw. Even though I wrote withdraw here of 1000 rupees, but it did not got withdraw because it printed you low balance and Vamshi your current balance is still 1234. So you cannot withdraw 1000 rupees. Understood Vamshi? Any questions regarding this example? Looking a little bit real time, right? I've added get balance, I have added deposit, I have added withdraw, okay, and I have created bank, okay, or with three data and deposited no problem, while withdrawing will be a problem. If he withdraw 500 rupees or 800 rupees, no problem. I think up to 800 he can withdraw. Let me check. No, it cannot withdraw 800 as well. So how much he can withdraw? 700 it can withdraw. Okay, I think no again. Yeah, he can withdraw 700. Okay, because he got 534 as a balance now. Now you can see there is no error when he withdraws 700. So he has to maintain 500 as a balance. So something 1234 rupees he has. Now he withdraws 700 rupees. So he got 534. That is obviously more than 500. So no problem at all. Yeah, you can also write like this, right? Instead of writing this, I can write plus is equal to. This is shorthand assignment operator. Always I can write like this. It's same like self balance is equal to self balance plus amount, and it is same like self balance is equal to self balance minus amount. Yeah, we learn about it, right? Compound assignment operator or shorthand assignment operator, we can use it. That's always preferable. Chikawat, you got it? Yeah, that's okay, Aditi. It's change from bank to bank, I think, right? In some bank it allowed to have a zero balance, some bank will have minimum 500, some banks will have 100. This is shorthand, you can write in both the way, I mean to say, Shikawat. Both are same. Self balance is equal to self balance amount is equal to self balance plus is equal to amount. Why it is else part confused? You, if you are getting confused, write the same way, na? No problem. I'm just writing in a shortcut way. You write it in an original way, no problem. If it is getting confused, got the point, Shikawat? No problem at all. I just wrote in shortcut way. You can also write self balance is equal to self balance minus amount. I hope it's clear for all now. Okay. So this is all for today, guys. Tomorrow we'll learn more in detail. Especially we will learn how to define attributes inside the class. Okay, come up with a problem. You know what is a problem with this approach? Yeah, I will just share this code. Whole code I will share it. You just, I think whether it will take it or not, I don't know. Okay, I will share uh, things here. So I will remove the spaces also. I will copy and paste here. You want me to put in text file? That will be perfect, I think. Okay, that will be perfect. So I will copy this whole code in a text file. I will name it as object oriented programming 1, so that we can take this. So this is our first example. Okay, we got it here, subscriber class and the bank class, and I will try to load the class. Okay, I'm not having that option to load where I will get. I can share in group, but I think we will also have an option to load here. But I'm not getting right now. Yeah, I will definitely share in group. That is easy for me. But I'm looking for directly. I can share the file here, but why I'm not getting it? Yeah, in chat window supposed to be a share option. Uh, that's what I'm not getting, guys. That's what I'm not getting. Yeah, now I got it. Fine. So I'll get it from my computer. I'll go to desktop. Name is OOP1. Okay, I'll open this. Okay, I hope you all got it now. Okay, thank you, Udit. So next class, we learn how to define the attributes inside the class. Okay, next class, we will learn how to define these attributes inside the class. You know, what is a problem with these guys? Because if I create 1,000 objects like this, don't you think that it's a very, like there are only three attributes, it's okay. uh, yeah, I will do that as well, SK. But now can you tell me, like, if every object has some 100 attributes, yeah, it's look untidy as well as it will be tedious, right? Right, Aditi? That's correct. So that's not the good way. So tomorrow we'll talk about like how to solve this problem. Okay, and then we'll go for other concepts like inheritance, polymorphism, and all. So there is a problem as correctly pointed out by other people. The code will be lengthy and every time we have to add. That's why people are concerned about, can we not add inside the class? We can add it, but you have to learn some more concepts to that. But don't worry, right now be stick to this. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Vishwajit. Have a nice day. Okay. So this is all for today. We'll take a leave now. We'll see you tomorrow. Thank you, Nitin.